We thought we got here pretty early, around 5 o'clock this morning, but there were already queues and queues of people outside the barriers hoping to get in. And initially there was kind of I'd say a very grateful attitude, almost celebratory, thankful both for Pope Francis's life and also for the fact that they were able to be here. We spoke to people from South Africa, my home country, Australia, Ireland, the United States of America as well. But then as the morning moved on, there was this deep sense of spiritual just gravitas and people really feeling quite emotional. One of the women I spoke to, the Australian lady, said that what will stand out for her actually is Pope Francis and what he did in the church for women. For her, yes, there are people who wish that he'd done more in terms of the positions that women take, but it was a great deal of progress. And she said she was pretty sure that he would be made a saint. That was her prediction.
Well, our correspondent, Lebo Diseko, is here. What more are we hearing about this manhunt, Lebo?
Well, this is hugely embarrassing for the government. Already we have heard criticism from the leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch, who has said the entire system is collapsing under Labour. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage saying he is now walking the streets of Essex. Britain is broken. David Lammy, the Justice Secretary, has tweeted or posted on X saying, "We're urgently working with the police to track him down and I've ordered an urgent investigation." Hadush Kibatu was supposed to be being removed to a immigration deportation centre, and it does seem that he was released in error, and that is how we've ended up in this situation. But obviously investigations are being ordered and most urgently police are trying to find him. It was here in South Africa that Queen Elizabeth first dedicated her life to serving the Commonwealth. But as monarch, she wouldn't visit this country until after the first democratic elections, a moment that Nelson Mandela described as a watershed between two countries redefining their relationship as equals. The UN says the system for assessing refugees here in Rwanda isn't fair or efficient. It told the High Court that people could be sent back to countries where they face torture. And back in June, it said it can take years for people to get a decision on their case. I was actually standing at this very spot, Charlie, doing a live on air when we saw policemen coming in, and they said that we needed to move and shelter away from where we were. We were moved into a tunnel. Wasn't quite clear what was going on, but then we heard that the Capitol building had been breached. Really quite shocking scenes. We saw tear gas having to be employed in the Capitol buildings. This is the seat of democracy in America. It really has been quite shocking in terms of what's taken place. And as you said, 4 people have died today.
Let's go back now to Lebo Diseko at the place where George Floyd died that has now become known as George Floyd Square. Lebo, just sum up the mood there. The authorities were braced for trouble. Does the suggestion and the fact that the verdicts were all guilty mean that perhaps the idea of trouble is perhaps receding a little?
Yeah, I mean, there was certainly a sense of celebration, relief, really, even from people here when they read the guilty verdicts. I think that really the core of this case has been the value of black life in America. That is what people have been saying to me over and over again, and whether they can trust that police will be held accountable for taking it.